Imagine in a country where there is a lot going on. Imagine in a country where there's a high number of unemployment. Imagine in a country where there is a high cost of living. Well, South Africans, they have spent a whopping of
1.1 trillion rand gambling in 2024, a 40% increase from last year. Managing Director at Olimera, Gary Walker, says this is a desperate attempt to keep up with the rising cost of living.
We found that people are not really gambling for pleasure, but rather as a source of income. So it's not a source of entertainment anymore. And people are just trying to gamble to try and cope with the cost of living, the rising cost of living. At the initial course, 70% of the people admitted to gambling primarily to supplement their income. 60% of those identified themselves as unemployed, essentially living on the 350 Rand grant and using the grant money to actually go out and gamble and to make money. A lot of them are actually telling their families that they are working whilst actually sitting, trying to make a little bit of money through gambling. So it's a desperate attempt to try and secure an additional income. And most of them are doing it just to cover their basic monthly costs and expenses, school fees, food, etc., and rent.
Now, with this being said, let us talk. Guys, these things of betting, I think if the youth of South Africa don't open their eyes, if each and every parent or you have your family member who's addicted to the gambling, I think this is going to destroy the entire generation. Let me tell you more about this. Today we might be sitting here talking about how South Africans they have spent 1.1 trillion rands in gambling in 1 year only. Maybe this is not something that people were not expecting, but this is something that can destroy your whole entire generation, because this money that people are throwing away is not like a money which the government comes and pay in their behalf. No, these are the money which are coming from the South African pockets. Each and every individuals, they're making sure that no, they should go ahead and do their gambling because they want to win. Now, by trying to win something, they end up losing everything. And when they're losing everything, they're actually making someone out there become a billionaire. Can you imagine the owners of this gambling, where they are right now? Because if you want to know what is my opinion on that, I will tell that these people, most of them, they are already be in the holidays. Some they are in their private jets. They are living their dreams life with your money. They gamble with your money and they end up winning you. You become like as a loser at the end of the day. This is something that have destroyed many people out there. People have become addicted. People are no longer gambling out of fun, but they are doing it as part of living. They are doing it having that faith, saying that someday we'll win. But in the meantime, they are winning you. Have you seen any of these gamblers go ahead and become something that they dream to be? Whether it is those who play the national lotteries, whether it is those ones who play with Hollywood bet or beat bet, call them as you wish. All these gamblings that we see through casinos and everywhere. People are spending a lot of money in order for them to be rich, but go ahead and check where goes your money. Today we're talking about 1.1 trillion rands that just goes like that. Go to the same people, ask them how much did the people of South Africa win or won out of all these trillions of money that they have spent in gambling. You'll find out that People that did not even won that much. Maybe it is 25% of people who won out of that money. And at the end of the day, you, the person who've been spending, you find out that no, this is not doing you good at all. You find out that no, you have not benefited something. Guys, let me tell you something. When I'm saying about these things, it's not like all of us, we never gamble or what. No. Yes, myself, I did gamble. And the moment when I end up realizing that it was about time for me to let go of these things, well, it was for the simple reason that you play something, for an example, of 50 rand, and then they'll come and make you win, maybe 2.5, 5 something. So in my case, I had won something, it was 80,000 back then. When I won that money, for me, I was like, oh, that is it. It seemed like there's a future here, because imagine I just spent less than 100 rand, but see the money I made. So which means if I pay for 1,000 rand, of course I'm going to make even millions. I have to put that 1,000 rand, you put whatever you want to bet me. Like in my case, I was betting with soccer. So I bet, and I remember that day I bet like 9 team only, and 8 of them went through. The last game, it was the one of Manchester City when they were still on fire. And that game, it was an obvious game, which everyone knew that no, Manchester City is going to win this game. But by my surprise, I nearly had a heart attack that day, because I could see how the money was going on just like that. City end up losing against Leicester, and they lose 2-1. I could see that money just going away like that. For me, it was very painful. For me, it was very disappointing. For me, I felt like, wow, so this is how it is. And then by the time I tried to do it again in a different day, or on a different day in a different game, the same thing happened again. So the motivation which I had of me becoming a millionaire over gambling, I start losing it, because I could see that by the time I become a millionaire through this gambling, it seemed like I'll be a broke man, and I don't want to be like one of those broke men out there. I rather try everything in my power to make sure that I do something better that can benefit my future, than me going to focus on a gambling part. That is how you have to think, especially if you know that you've been playing these things for too long and you never won. That's how you have to think, because when each and every time you fail to win after you had deposited your money, you must know that you are making someone out there a millionaire. You must know that you are making someone out there a billionaire. I can also even explain in a very easy way. Look here. Imagine if you are at least 1 million people, you gamble. Okay, 1 million is even too much. Let's take 100,000 people who are gambling with 1 rand only, 1 rand. And it happened that all of you fail to win. You go in the next game, you put another 1 rand. You fail again. The next things you go, you put another one. You even put 5 rand, you keep on failing. That 1 rand that you've been giving every time, don't you know that it is what it takes for someone to become a millionaire? Don't you know that this is actually the money that can make a person become one of the most powerful men or women out there? These billionaires or millionaires that you guys have been seeing all over the TV or TV series, they did not start with billions of money sitting somewhere in their bank accounts. No. They start with something small, but they just know how to generate it. Do you guys still remember that Nigerian guy who was caught robbing the bank, the Absa Bank, in 2017? The guy who, his job, he was not taking a lot of money from anyone. The guy was just taking 50 cents per each bank account. 50 cents. If 50 cents, you can't get bank notification because it is sent. It's not even rent. It is sent. This guy was collecting 50 cents per each bank account, which ABSA could not notice, which bank owners, account owners, they were not able to notice it. And this man become multi-millionaire. Yes. The guy become multi-millionaire in South Africa with that money. And no one noticed it. But how did them end up cutting him? Well, it was because after they were having their system, it was shut off for some period, which they had problem like they need, banks, they like to do maintenance here and then so that they can keep up their security strength. So usually they have some IT technicians who they can bring from all over around the world. And this time they were bringing some Americans. And when these Americans get in their system of ABSA, they fix everything. But they end up realizing that no, actually there's some link, which small cent of money usually disappeared from each bank account. So they were kind of curious. They want to know where does money goes, so that if it is the bank who does that, then they will understand if it's someone else. But they were just curious to know. But according to me, I think they were also ready to sabotage ABSA. Once if it happened that no, if they find out that no, this little money was going in ABSA, in ABSA bank, they were maybe gonna use it against ABSA and start blackmailing them, saying that no, they are crooks, they are stealing from other banks. So they did all that. As they were investigating, they ended up realizing that this money actually, it goes to one individual. And who was that individual? Of course, it was that so-called Nigerian guy. And this guy, he managed to make all that money in a short period without spending anything, without making any effort. Sense makes someone become a billionaire. If you want to know more about that story, you can Google or you can type down in the comment section so that we can come and give you more details of what happened to the guy after they had found out that he's been stealing from the bank owners. That's the story for another day. So tell me if you are interested about us talking about that. But back to what I was saying, this gambling things is not benefiting people at all, because each and every cent that you get to spend, you are actually making someone else, they become multi-billionaire. You are making someone become even more richer each and every day. And in return, you're not getting anything. That's why if it is up to me, I always say every time that what about maybe we just do a stockpile of our own people, whereby every day we take 1 rand or 50 cents. Let's say maybe we are 5 million people. We take 50 cents, we give it to one person. One moment, that person is a multi-millionaire. Tomorrow, we take another 50%, we put them together, we give it to another person. You will see that we'll be having a lot of millionaires in this country. Everyone will be so excited about it. But in our case, it seems like it's indeed a serious problem. And most of people, they don't understand that. So they prefer to go and do the gambling, knowing very well that this is going to destroy them. So guys, I think we can say whatever we're saying here, but at the end of the day, that is a personal choice. But for me as a young man, I feel so pity for those who are investing in this part of things, because at the end of the day, these things is going to raise up the price of foods. Because once a person becomes addicted, they don't think about eating, they don't think about other people, they won't be able to save anymore, because every time in their mind they'll be like, instead of this man sitting in my house or in my bank account? What about if I take 50 rand and bet on this boxing or this rugby game or this football game? You do that and they chop it. Tomorrow you go, you collect another one, you come with it, they chop it again. So people need to be more careful. People need to pay attention to this kind of gambling things. Because these people who are winning these gambling things, check around, you'll see they don't even nothing good they do. Well, there is a charity with other people. Their money is their money. Yeah, they'll tell you that their money is their money. They can only maybe help some foundation here and then, and they're helping that foundation with your own money. Remember, if you won 100 million rand on gambling, they're not going to give you the whole money. They will give you maybe 80 or 90, and some percentage they will tell you, no, this one is for this one is for the tax, this one for that. They will tell you a lot of things. They will take your money. So whatever them they are collecting from you is what they are benefiting out of it. So it's a personal choice, but for me, I feel like it is very important we come here and have this conversation with you guys, because we do all have family members who are addicted to this kind of things. And sharing this kind of video with them is going to help them, at least. It's going to open their eyes so that even if they want to continue gambling, they should be aware of what they are doing with their own conscience, without being forced, without being told what to do. So it was very important that we have this conversation, guys. Thank you so much. Tell us what you think about this in the comment section and give us your opinion. We are looking forward to that. For now, continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.